Hey guys, AntVenom here, and welcome back to another Minecraft video. And today I'm going to be giving you guys some parkour tips, and I just fell off of the platform. What a great way to start a parkour tips video. And yeah, so in this video I'm going to be giving you guys, just you can kind of see by the map that I have here, I'm going to be running you guys through some various different scenarios that can happen in parkour, and certain ways that are best to deal with them. The number one bit of advice that I'm going to give you guys over all else is practice makes perfect, so you're going to be able to download this. The link will be in the description below for that. So let's just go ahead and let's get it started. Yeah. All right. So the first order of business that you guys need to know, well, I'm actually not going to be getting into speed effects too much in this video. I'm just going to be dealing with the regular raw mechanics of parkour, and if you learn these, then you should be able to learn everything else. But the main thing that you guys want to know about, in 1.7, as I'm sure most of you know, when you go into your controls, there is a new button that says sprint, and I personally like having that set to caps lock, and it allows you to have a sprint key. So if you go ahead and you hold the button, you'll actually wind up sprinting rather than having to double tap, which can be very useful, except, yeah, okay. I've had issues when you actually double tap while holding the key, but it appears to work fine. But anyways, so while holding your sprint key, or while you're sprinting, the longest jump that you can make is a 4-block jump, and you have to make it right on the edge of the block that you're jumping off of. And the best way to learn how to do that is to actually look down while you're sprinting, and when your cursor is about, when your cursor is about here, or at least a little bit before it, then that's when you want to go ahead and you want to jump. So bam, you jump, and then you can make that sort of a jump. And the longest jump that you can make when there is a 1-block raise on the landing platform that you're going to land on is 3 blocks. So you can go ahead and you can do that, and it is awesome and stuff. And yeah, and this jump isn't as hard as a 4-block jump, but it still is kind of difficult. So yeah. Alright, so with those basics out of the way, let's just move on to the various sort of individual tips and tricks that I have set up on this course here. So this one right here is a good example of what, making ladder jumps easier. So if you've ever played on any parkour maps, you may know that you have some pretty lengthy ladder jumps that happen from time to time. And if you jump for them, oftentimes you'll wind up feeling like you stick to them, but then you really don't. And with this jump in particular, if you jump right at the edge, you can actually make the jump, normally. But you see, you actually heard the ladder noise there, but it didn't wind up sticking. Bam. But if you go ahead and, while sprinting here, if you hold shift in midair before you actually reach the ladder, you will wind up sticking to it. So let me show you guys here. And yes, I did get the new Minecon cape. I'm going to have it on my Halloween skin, but I'm going to switch back when Halloween is over. If you go ahead and you jump off the platform here and then you crouch as you get to the ladder, it's actually going to allow you to stick to the ladder a little bit differently than you would otherwise, and it does wind up working. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go into survival mode now to show you the rest of the stuff. So one thing that you guys want to note when you are doing parkour is that there are 3 things in Minecraft that will allow you to not take fall damage if you hit it before you actually reach the ground. And one of those are ladders. Obviously, if you hit the ladder first, you are not going to take any fall damage whatsoever. If you actually hit, if you hit cobwebs now, you no longer take damage when you actually wind up hitting the ground. This used to not be the case, and I tested it, and it is now actually the case. So I would have taken a pretty decent amount of fall damage there, but I touched the ground and nothing happened, so that's awesome. And then as well, the same thing will happen with vines, even if you hit vines that are not directly attached to a block, like I just did there. Well, that was directly attached to a block, but if I go ahead and if I really try here, if I try and let's just go ahead and let's give this a try here. So if I just barely hit it there, no matter where you hit it along the process, it'll slow your fall and it will prevent any and all fall damage. So if you guys wound up seeing my PAX 2013 free falling competition video, that I took full advantage of that in that video, and it wound up working out very, very well because you can take very long falls, and as long as you hit a vine before you hit the ground, you will survive, assuming you don't take a long fall after that. So yeah, all right. So moving on here, onto the bane of most people's existence in parkour, and that is ladder parkour. So ladder parkour is when you kind of have to jump around corners in order to, hit a ladder on the other side, just kind of like the way you guys are seeing me do right now. So the way that you go about doing that, this one's a little bit tricky to explain, but again, practice makes perfect, guys. You can download the map, you guys will get it. But what you want to do is you want to hold shift so that you wind up coming out to the edge of the block here, and you kind of want to look out at a 45-degree 90-degree angle. And then let's see if I can do this, and then I can explain it. So you want to let go of shift, and then almost in the same instance you want to jump. Then you want to veer left and hold shift again. So bam, you guys sort of see how I did that there. Maybe not. Maybe I can try it in F5 mode just to give you guys a visual demonstration. You sort of see how I left the shift mode and then I went back into it. Yeah, and then I failed that there. Okay, so bam, yeah, see, and that's a really good way to catch it. So okay, F5 mode not working out. So let me go ahead and let me try all of these here. So bam, there we go, and then bam. Okay, whoops, okay, bam. Oh, crap. See, it can actually be fairly difficult, but it's not really overly. It takes a fair amount of practice. So there we go. So now around this corner here is actually just a ladder that is 1 tall. It can use the same basic principle, but this one can work a little bit differently. If you sort of face a little bit closer to the wall that you're jumping towards, you can actually like wind up making it right on top of the ladder without touching the ladder at all, really. See, you sort of see how I did that there. Let's see here. Let me go back here and try this in F5 mode just to see if I can make it work. Bam. Yeah, see, I made it right on top of the ladder there. And for the most part there. And bam. There we go. So again, practice makes perfect with pretty much any scenario whatsoever, ever. Yeah. All right, so this jump right here, this is a little bit of a wonky scenario. It's not something you're going to find in regular parkour ever, but I wanted to try it anyways. I actually had diamond armor to the hills set up for this experiment, but it looks like it's gone now. So let me go ahead and let me give myself the diamond armor. Bam, 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 bam. Yeah, because I'm going to need diamond armor to make this work. All right, so let's see there. There we go. All right, now let's go ahead and let's put ourselves into survival mode. So this little trick, if you have a punch 2 bow, then you can actually make yourself fly much bigger distances than you would otherwise, but it is very, very random. It takes a little bit of practice. It actually takes quite a lot of practice, and I haven't mastered it yet. But if you go ahead and you fire an arrow up into the sky, just like that, and then you jump, you can actually make much longer jumps than normal. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, you know what, I'm just going to give myself the golden apple because I need health. I need to be able to heal myself in the event that I wind up screwing that up. All right, so actually I am already healed. Okay, so let's try that again. So then, okay, I'm actually not explaining this here. So let me go ahead and let me explain exactly what I am doing here. Basically, when you fire off an arrow, the arrow is going to be what holds any of the effects that the bow has. So the arrow, when it hits you, is going to apply a punch 2 effect to you, which is going to, it's basically a knockback effect, except for the bow. You'll notice it if you wind up hitting any mobs. Let me see if I can hit one of those sheep off in the distance. Yeah, you can see that it wound up hitting that sheep, you know, pretty decent ways. Let me see if I can hit that pig right there. He's a little closer. Like, oh god, I wound up pausing. What the heck just happened there? That was weird. Okay. All right, let me see. Piggy, get hit. Piggy. Okay, I'm getting so very close to the piggy. There we go. Yeah, you can see it knock the pig back a fair ways, and it's going to do that to you as well. So if you go ahead and you fire an arrow basically in the upward and slightly forward direction, and then you start sprinting forward. Oh god, see, it's very difficult to do. Yeah, the easiest way to do it in reality, if you're really doing it, is to fire an arrow almost straight up and with barely any power whatsoever. Wound up missing. Yeah, best not to do it over big, you know, big areas like this. Again, this is more of like a joke idea, but it's something that I saw Seth Bling introduce. Yeah, bam, and we made it. We almost fell off the edge on the other side, actually. So that may have been a little bit difficult to see, but and if you fire an arrow and then you jump, and you can usually, if the arrow does wind up hitting you, then you'll wind up making a pretty sweet jump. Let me go and let me give that one more try here. Okay, bam. Okay, nope, it wound up missing me because I jumped too late. All right, let's. I want to give that one more try because I'm having fun with this. I'm having fun. Okay, so bam. Okay, nope, wound up missing again. Okay, very, very hard little trick here. All right, one more time. Okay. Okay, bam. Yeah, kind of. Anyways, I think you guys get the idea. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move on from this point. I'm going to put the stuff in the chest right here so that when you guys download the map, you'll have all of that at your disposal. Even these. Why not? 64 golden apples. Sweet deal. All right, so moving on to regular ladder parkour. I probably should have had this teamed up with that stuff over there, but whatever. Let's go ahead and let's take a tumble here. Let's go into game mode 0. There we go. And let's go and let's take a tumble here because, as I said before, ladders prevent your damage. So, ladder parkour. This stuff is actually fairly easy. Jumping onto a ladder, that's a pretty standard jump. The biggest problem that most people make when they do ladder parkour is they face the wall that they're about to jump to. Now, with this specific jump, it is possible, but with a 3-block jump, it would not be possible. So, if I go ahead and I try and jump here, if I try and I'll just hold down my sprint real quick and then I'll jump. I fail the jump because I'm actually facing the wall, and when you hit a wall, your sprint fails. So if I go ahead and I try and do this here, well, you guys actually wouldn't be able to tell with a jump like that, but your sprint does fail when you wind up hitting a wall. So the best solution is to sort of look in front of you to the middle of a block, but then you want to look slightly to the outside of it. You can kind of see what I'm doing here. You just want to look slightly away from the wall that you're about to jump to, and then in midair, you want to jump. You want to sort of fade towards it. And if I go ahead and I go into F5 mode here, you can see what I'm doing. So if I go ahead and I jump, okay, well that failed because I looked too far to the outside, because that's what happens when you are in F5 mode. All right, but bam, yeah, you can sort of see that is winds up working. So when you want to jump to a ladder that is on the other side of you, what most people instinctively usually wind up doing is they wind up doing something like this, which in this case wound up working, but usually wind up doing that. You wind up falling down the ladder all stupid and you feel embarrassed. The easiest way to do one of these jumps is to sort of start with the same technique as before. You want to look slightly away from the wall, and then you want to sprint. I'm going to double tap here, and then you want to turn left and then jump. So yeah, just kind of like that, except that one wound up failing. I think I was actually looking towards the wall. Let's try this again. Okay, bam, and then so again, you want to look slightly away, rotate, and then jump just after you rotate. If you jump at the same time, you're gonna wind up doing something like that, and it's not gonna work. So what you want to do is you want to jump at the exact same time. Yeah, that was even a little early. Okay, that was more what I had in mind right there. So jump again. Okay, yeah, see, and that was even a little bit too late. But the best and most reliable technique is the turn and jump, because it just winds up working with enough practice. Bam. Okay, I'm actually having difficulty with it here today, but I don't care. There we go. Yeah, see, that I just failed my aim. Okay. Bam, there we go. So you do have to be very, very close as to when you actually make the jump. See, there we go. I'm starting to hit it consistently now. Okay, see, there we go. I just haven't done this jump for a while. There we go. All right, cool. And then let's see, right here, we just have another ladder jump. Bam, sweet deal. There we go. That concludes the ladder parkour for now. All right, so moving on to another type of parkour here. This is one that will pop up a lot in sort of like technical maps. You'll see you'll wind up having a pressure plate that you have to hit here, and then you have to make some jump just like that. But half the time, what winds up happening, let me go ahead and let me get back up here. Half the time what winds up happening is you'll make the jump and the pistons will wind up falling from underneath your feet. At least that's what happens most of the time. But of course, while I'm trying to demo it, it just doesn't do it. So let's try this here. Bam. Yeah, see, so I did wind up getting my feet underneath the piston, but a lot of the times what winds up happening is that your feet, the piston winds up coming out from underneath you. The easiest way to combat this is to stand on the edge of the block so that you're not actually triggering the pistons yet. And then what that allows you to do is it allows you to start a sprint and then jump immediately after onto the wood blocks. It gives you just a little bit more time. So bam, there we go, and I made the jump just fine. Let's go ahead and let's give that another try just to show you guys here. I doubt I'll be able to F5 mode this, but whatever. Okay, bam, there we go. Yeah, so I actually F5 mode it. So yeah, that's how to conquer the piston jumps if you're ever actually having trouble with them. Let's see if I can. Okay, so bam. Oh yeah, see, and that can happen with them a lot too, but that was more that's just something that you just need to overcome. Okay, let's try this. Okay, nope. Oh crap. Okay, bam. Or yeah, if you need to make a speedy jump or something like that, then that can be very useful. Okay, bam. Oh yeah, see, there we go. That I would not have been able to make that jump because the pistons came back too quickly. Finally, what I'm trying to demo actually. Yeah, see, there we go. That is what winds up happening half the time. All right, so moving on here. I'm just going to show you guys me parkouring around the corner here. This is pretty much one of the biggest scenarios of practice makes perfect. So if I go ahead and I jump around the corner here, yeah, this is probably the hardest jump that I created in this whole thing. But the easiest way to do one of these jumps is pretty much, yeah, practice makes perfect. And you want to make sure that you're not hitting this corner when you make the jump. And you want to sort of move in the air as you're in midair. So jump, bam. Yeah, that one I didn't quite rotate enough. But let's see here. Bam. There we go. And the same rule sort of applies here. This one, you want to aim not to hit that wall, but you want to aim to just hit like that right there. And then you fade in right after, and you make the jump. And I just fail-falled there. Fail-fall. Fail-fall. All right, let's go ahead and let's make these jumps, guys. We can do this. Okay, bam, there we go. And there we go. And then this one is fairly easy. Bam and bam. All right. So this next jump that I'm about to show you guys is the bane of my existence. It is the jump where you have to make a lengthy jump and you have a block right above you, which means you need to jump right at the very, very edge. So in this case, I am actually going to look down while I'm doing this, and then bam. Yeah, see? You wind up hitting the wall above you, and it just doesn't work. It doesn't work because there's a wall above you. And the only bit of advice that I can give you guys in this case is, again, practice makes perfect, and you need to jump very, very late. Right there. Sort of see that, how I waited until my cursor was a decent ways off the block before I jumped. It requires you to make the jump at the very, very last second. So yeah. Alright, so the last order of business on the parkour teaching agenda is how water parkour works. This will very rarely pop up in parkouring maps, but it did pop up once for me on T3C parkour. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to show you guys how it works. So if you are parkouring parkouring into water, the main thing that you want to keep in mind is that you want to be holding your spacebar pretty much the entire time, but not until you are already falling. So if I try and jump into this bit of water here, you're going to fall right through. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go into creative for this demo here. But if I go ahead and if I just kind of jump down here, that doesn't work either because that's too high of a jump. But if I go ahead and I go to like this spot, for example, or if I try and come off of this ladder and do it, you will not wind up falling through the water. So it's definitely a balancing act. So yeah, and then I'll just go ahead and I'll come down to this water here. Oh, whoops. Okay. Stupid flying crap. Okay. So let's go ahead and let's do that. There we go. So one thing that you guys want to keep in mind when you're going from any one specific set of water to another is that you want to get yourself as low as you can in the water, preferably like maybe even get your eyes underneath the water a little bit. Even though your feet are going to be slightly underneath, it's your head that ultimately winds up mattering in these situations. Okay, so then you want to be a little bit low, and then you want to get right here. Actually, I need to go to survival mode for this because I am flying way too often. So yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and let's go down here. So what I was basically talking about before is that you don't want to do something like this where you just wind up jumping through and you wind up falling through, because that is just not going to fly. So literally, it's not going to fly. It's not going to work. So what you want to wind up doing here is you want to get yourself underneath the water at least a little bit, or at least you want to get your head to about here, and that's where you want to take the tumble, because then you're not going to be falling fast enough to fall through this bit of water, and thus you are going to be able to make the water parkour jump just fine. So yeah. Alright, so that pretty much concludes the parkour tips that I have for this video. Okay, God. Oh, okay, wow. I wound up missing that jump hardcore because I made that jump this is actually a very hard jump that I made. Let's go ahead and let's see if we can do this. Let's see if we can do this. Okay, so jump. Oh, whoops. I'm crouching. So jump off the edge and then crouch. Yeah. All right, and we got ourselves the golden apple. Ooh, that's interesting. When you punch an item frame with an item in it, the item frame itself doesn't pop out the first time. That is really cool. And those all went flying off in that direction. Give me the golden apple. Yeah. So anyways, guys, I hope you all have enjoyed this parkour tips video that I have had. Again, if you guys want to download this for yourselves, the link is going to be in the description below as always. But yeah, I hope you all have enjoyed this video. My name is AntVenom, and I bid you all farewell. Thanks so much for watching.